Plaintiff Kimberly England says the defendant is married to her stepdaughter, and she claims he's constantly getting into trouble with the law and has even been in and out of prison 3 times. Kimberly wanted to give the defendant a chance because he never had a strong mentor in his life, so she gave him 2 loans, but he never repaid her. In a second case, Lynette Krueger is suing her husband for unpaid rent. Lynette claims the defendant's been in trouble with the law for manufacturing crystal meth and auto theft. And the last time he was sent to prison, their son was only 2.5 months old. Lynette believes the defendant owes her for rent because he moved out of their place before their lease expired. Defendant Brian Krueger says the only reason he's in court today is because he refuses to reconcile with Lynette. Brian claims during their marriage, he and Lynette used methamphetamines. But after his last prison stay and the birth of his son, he cleaned up his act. Brian insists he already repaid Kimberly for the loans and doesn't owe Lynette anything.
We have 2 cases here. Lynette Krueger, which you stand, and you're also suing Brian Krueger.
Yes, sir.
So we have 2 people suing Brian Krueger, and you know Brian as a friend. How do you know
He's
him?
my son-in-law, Your Honor.
Okay, your son-in-law. You're
Yes.
suing your son-in-law for $300 for the balance of unpaid loans. That's the first case.
That's correct.
Then you're suing your
Husband.
Yes,
sir.
For rent
Yes, sir.
for $1,500. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am suing my son-in-law, Brian, for $300, but this is not about money. This is about principle. Brian has not been the most model citizen, and he has a strong drug background. He's been in and out of prison 3 times, and he doesn't follow through with his financial
When was the
responsibilities.
last time he had an encounter with the law, to your knowledge?
He was paroled 2 months ago.
Okay. All right.
So
That's not true. That's untrue. I was paroled over like about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. I haven't been in trouble with the law in probably over about 3 years.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Brian came to me in May of last year and asked to borrow $500 to pay off an existing note on a Jeep Cherokee. At that time, I was a little reluctant because of Brian's past, and he was in drug court at the time, and I wasn't sure if he'd be able to pay back the money, but he is the father of our grandchild. I wanted to help him out. I just wanted to give him a second chance. He hasn't had the opportunity to have strong mentors in his life. He's been in my stepdaughter's life for 7 years now, and we really just wanted to give the guy a chance. And so I said, okay, fine, you write up the note, you set the terms, and you sign it, and which he did. He paid back pretty consistently. What happened is he set the terms, but he wasn't able to keep the terms. They were too aggressive. They had financial difficulties at the time. So he said initially he'd pay $150, and then the balance.
You have the note you're referring to?
I do. And then the balance of $200. It became clear that he was not able to keep up the terms of that note, so I amended it on 7/08
You have
to
that
read
amendment?
to pay back $100 a month, which he did.
That was a little over a year ago?
Yes, it was. He paid back all but $100, and then in November of last year, he totaled the Jeep. The details of that are still a little sketchy. We're not quite sure what happened, but the vehicle was totaled. Brian is a mechanic by trade, so he found another Jeep, and he was going to take the motor, we'll call it the white Jeep, he was going to take the motor out of the white Jeep and put it into the green Jeep. So he came to me again and asked for $500 to buy the Jeep. I did advance him at that time the additional $500. There was $100 remaining on the initial note, which brought the balance to $600.
Beginning 10/17, October of 08.
That's right.
How much has he paid since October of 08?
Since October of 08, he has paid, I think he made 3 payments.
Of $100 each?
Yes.
Sir, what do you want to tell me?
Really, the reason why we're here today, like she said, it's not about the money. I believe that they're angry that I'm not still with their daughter. Kim has told me that I'm still financially responsible and obligated to her daughter.
Tell me, why aren't you with the daughter, since you all make that such an issue today?
We just had issues. She told you that I have had trouble in the past with criminal history, and I have had problems with drug use. Well, Lynette also has had problems with drug use too in the past.
Your wife?
Yes, my wife. We've both been through rehab.
What type of drugs?
Methamphetamines.
Wow, that is a tough. Go ahead.
Sir. And we split up, got back together again, split up, got back together again. After my son was born, a little bit after that, I decided that I needed to change who I was. I needed to do the right thing.
When was that?
He was born in 06. I was still in some trouble right then. I did go to prison. I was there for about 8 months. And while I was there, I made the decision that I needed to change my life. Since then, I got out. I completed the drug court program. I've done a lot of things to try to change my life and to be a responsible adult now. And I've been sober for about 2.5 years right now, almost 3 years.
Good to hear that. Tell me about your relationship with your wife during that time.
She was there for me off and on. We ended up getting married after I got out and I got sober. We ended up getting married and we ended up just not working out. Lynette's still angry about the past. She holds on to a lot of things.
Was she sober?
It is questionable whether she was still sober or not at the time. But
What do you mean it's questionable? Weren't you all living together?
Yeah, actually, Your Honor,
Well, then you know the signs. I know when they're using it. I've never touched it in my life. She come in the house jittery. You know she's using it.
While we were married, I did.
See her hands? Well, she's been scratching her hands. You would see all that, right? Aren't those the signs?
While we were married, I actually did catch her using methamphetamines in the house at one time. While I was on parole, while I was in drug court, and while I was trying to stay sober, I did catch her using in our house.
So you did know.
So I did know, Your Honor. I'm sorry. And I just, we have a lot of fights. She gets real angry.
When did you all separate?
About 4 months ago.
And why do you think her parents are so upset with you?
I believe because she stuck it out through all my troubles, and that I'm not sticking it out through hers now.
Gotcha.
And he's not being financially accountable, Your Honor. I called him after they separated. I called him. I said, Brian, listen, just pay the $300. He acknowledged the amount. He knew it was a loan.
When was this?
This was about 6 weeks ago.
Okay, go ahead.
I called him on the cell phone. I said, why don't you just give Lynette the $300?
What did he say?
He hasn't paid anything in child support.
What did he say when you spoke with him? Quiet, sir.
He said, I said, why don't you just give Lynette the $300 and we're done. I'll be off your back.
What did he say?
He said, okay.
See, it's hard for me to believe you when you can't give me a clear answer to my very direct question. I had to ask you that 3 times.
He said, I'll take care of it.
Ma'am, be quiet. Don't overtalk me now. You couldn't answer it at all a minute ago. You finally said, well, he said, okay. Sir, you tell me about this conversation 6 weeks ago where you agreed that you owed $300 and that you would repay it.
Sir, what I can tell you is that that's part of the reason why I believe I don't owe them any money at all right now at this point. Is I'm glad that Lynette's here today, because I actually gave Lynette about 4 weeks ago $200. I have a receipt here for she needed some repairs done to her vehicle, where I actually paid for the repairs being done to her vehicle for $106 about 2 weeks before that.
So at this point, his answer sounds more reliable. He was very direct, very clear on the conversation. You were not. You have a witness you want to speak on your behalf?
My husband, Gordon, is here.
Come on,
Your Honor.
State your name.
Gordon England.
What do you want to tell me?
Just that Brian has been very elusive, and the reason that Brian wouldn't give a direct answer, which he never has, he's just been irresponsible for ever responding to anyone. You know, a matter of fact, when he got off parole here, he moved right into it with a woman, and he's never paid anything. No diapers, no anything.
Your wife said he did make 3 payments.
Well, that was for the Jeep. For the Jeep, Your Honor, not for his wife or anything for the child.
We're talking about what she's suing for today. And a point of correction, he was able to answer very clearly. Your wife wasn't.
But we're speaking about questions, Your Honor.
We're talking about the loan. And she said they had a loan discussion 6 weeks ago. She couldn't give me a clear answer until the 3rd time. And then she was somewhat shaky with that answer. You wanted to speak, young lady?
Yes, sir.
State your name.
My name's Lynette Krueger, and I just want to stop all the inconsistency. Brian bought a battery for me. Number one, I never saw him purchase it. And number two, he never voiced that it was in exchange to pay back this loan. If he owes my stepmom this money,
Your Honor, I have the receipt. I have the receipt right here stating. I have the receipt right here stating that I paid for it.
How much?
And I bought
$106 for the battery, and you can ask Lynette while she's under oath whether or not I did give her $200 just a couple weeks ago. She will tell you yes, hopefully.
Did he, man?
He gave me money, but that was for child support. That was not for the loan.
Did he give you 200?
For child support, sir, not for his obligation to my stepmom.
The answer is yes?
Yes, for child support,
Okay, I heard
sir.
that part. You don't have to keep doing. Are you high today because you look like it? Your eyes are bucked out, and this is how you keep talking. That's signs of someone high off meth.
Well, I just want to make the statement that that was not in exchange for his obligation to the loan. Okay.
You sure you're not getting high anymore?
Yes, sir.
When did you stop?
9 months ago.
Okay. And you went to rehab?
No.
Okay, you stopped on your own.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And you say he has failed to pay $300. He says you told him to pay your daughter. Was there any discussion about your daughter?
No.
Absolutely not one word of her. Tell me how it went down.
No, I'm sorry. I spoke to Brian and asked him to pay her $300 instead of the note.
Thank you, Your Honor.
After all that, you agreed that you said just what he says. Case dismissed, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day. Next case, we have the wife, Lynette, suing her husband $1,500 for unpaid rent. Come right up. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'm suing my husband that I've been with for 7 years for $1,500. Brian's been in and out of prison 3 times. First one for gun charges, second one for manufacturing methamphetamines. And
That's a lie, Your Honor. I've never been.
Be quiet.
I have paperwork. And
That's not important. You all were both dope fiends.
And the third time.
Go ahead.
And the third time was for stolen vehicles. During this time, I've stayed with Brian by his side, helping him out when he had nobody. His own parents wouldn't talk to him, send him money. He'd parole, come to my home. Things would just get out of hand. We would fight and stuff. He would go back to continue using. I'd go back to my mom's house. I'd be sober. And Brian would go back to prison, get out, come back to my home, basically use me. He was not there when my son was born.
Where was
2
he?
days before.
Where was he?
He was in Reno getting high and using and cheating on me with other women.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Okay. You were still getting high?
No, sir.
Okay. When did you stop?
Before that, I stopped for a year.
Okay, and you had a relapse.
Yes, sir.
Right,
and that's kind of been the continuum. I stopped for a year.
And until you go to rehab, that's going to continue, ma'am.
And
go
so Brian went to prison again with my 2-month-old. I stayed by Brian's side. I would go and take our son to go visit him and stuff so he could have some type of relationship with his son. He never once called to ask how I was, what the baby's name was, nothing. Completely out of the picture. Brian got out of prison. Again, I made a home for him. I was living in public housing. Because of Brian's criminal background, I couldn't stay living in public housing. Within 2 weeks, we had to find a home for us to move into. We moved into our house, and it was known that it was financially strained for me to make all the payments on my own. It needed to be both of us.
Allow him to give some background before we get to the specific amount of rent you're suing for, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, as she tells you, she's been using meth off and on continually that whole time. How long she has spent sober is unknown to me or to anyone else. At the best, we know she's been sober for about 9 months, at the best. I've been sober for about 3 years now.
He went to jail
rehab.
3
Yes, sir.
times, sir, while he was in the
Yes,
drug
sir.
court program for having dirty tests. So I
that
don't-
true?
Yes, it is too.
Yes, sir, but
So you haven't been able to sustain.
Oh, now it comes
in the
out.
drug in the drug court program, Your Honor, if you were to even take a cold pill or medicine or anything like that, it will come up as a
That's
dirty
what you
test.
told them?
That's actually.
I don't try to run that game on me.
Exactly.
The reason you came up dirty in your drug test
Because you're
is
getting high,
because you
too.
had cold medicine in your system. Yeah, cold medicine is used to make methamphetamine. So let's move on, sir. What else you want to tell
All right,
me?
Your Honor, really the reason why we're here is that my wife's angry that I'm not with her anymore. She is right. While we were living together, we did move into a house. I continually, every week that I came home, I gave my check to my wife. I kept about $60 out of it every single week. And that's the money that I had that was going towards bills.
When did you leave?
About 3 months ago.
All right. And ma'am, you're suing for $1,500
Yes,
for
sir,
unpaid rent. Tell me how.
I was away at military training. While I was gone, Brian was having an affair with a single mom at my son's daycare. His
Your Honor,
daughter's in
that's
the same class.
We're going to get
And
to the rent, so I'll just
that whole month of June, I paid all of the rent. We had a restraining order
Honor,
against one.
Quiet.
We had a restraining order against one another. So the whole month of June, I didn't even live in the home. And I paid, and I have bank statements, I paid all of rent, all the bills, and everything.
Ma'am, have you gone to court and requested some type of temporary maintenance from your husband? Because
yes.
you're not divorced.
No, sir.
So when you're separated, then you go to court
I did,
and get
sir.
a temporary maintenance order.
The only thing you can get is child support. Brian hasn't paid.
Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
That's not true. You also get maintenance, meaning if the mortgage or the rent is $3,000 a month while he's living there, the courts aren't going to just say, "We'll give $200 for child support and let that $3,000 let that ride. Do the best you can." That's not how it goes,
sure,
ma'am.
But I haven't even had help with daycare or nothing. I had to go to our church and get a loan from them to help
And that's
pay
why
my rent.
that's why I'm asking you.
I've
Didn't
asked, sir,
you want
and
to
I
talk
haven't
over me? You are high today, and you keep your eyes bucked out. You keep itching, and you keep talking over me. I believe you're high right now. In the meantime, I must dismiss your case. You all are still married. You cannot sue your own husband for what are joint assets. You all have joint debts, joint income. Rent is a debt. So I must dismiss your case. And ma'am, I'm going to order that you be analyzed for drug use, and if you are found to have drugs in your system, that you go to rehabilitation, drug rehabilitation. Have a good day.
I moved out of my home just because the living conditions were not good. I didn't want my son being subjected to the violence of my wife and just all the nonsense. I want my son to grow up in a home where people are happy and where he can enjoy himself.
I think it's complete nonsense.